possible action to appoint a candidate to the vacant position on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
Do it, yes.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint, Alexander Cindy Joseph to the position on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and to, appoint Joe Kapelewski to a newly position as an alternate for the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Told you I'd get both of you on there.
I'm not buying dinner.
And second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you, people.
City Administrator's Report.
I think you've heard from me enough tonight. We're, obviously, the great support of this lady here has been astounding, or I would have probably jumped off the roof. It's a lot of stuff right now going on, but the team on the second floor has been outstanding. Also, our interim police chief, if it hasn't been for him really stepping up to the plate, then this stuff would not be working. So everybody here as a team is just doing an outstanding job right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The mayor is not here right now, and I don't have a report. So Alderman's report. We'll start with you.
Not too much to report, but I will be getting with Brad, and we'll be setting up a meeting for the parks. I kind of want to look at it more as a big picture meeting right at the beginning of the year with all this enthusiasm for a better year, to kind of schedule out the whole plans for the year and budget wise for the park and beach, all that improvements, kind of fall into that budget item. So we'll get that done and posted to get some more volunteers that we can wrangle in for that stuff, and then we'll have more reports on our game plan for the year.
Russell?
I'll try and be brief. I'm calling them my hot topics. Alright, this is as much as a report as things that I'm working on that I could use some help working on as well. Number one pet peeve, 3005. I've been in touch with the engineer and Angel Brothers to no avail. Both the rideability and the drainage that TxDOT has promised to us to fix in front of 3005 here, it's atrocious. I need help. I need everybody to get on the bandwagon. Sean and I worked on this all of last year. We're promised the world. When you pull out of the parking lot, look at how our drainage is doing in front of the city. The drainage is TxDOT's responsibility. 3005, there's an architect and they hired out Angel Brothers, but pick up a phone call, pick up the phone, make a call, send an email, help out. Greasy wheel's gonna get the, squeaky wheel's gonna get the grease.
Who's the state rep for this area? Mays?
Sorry,
Who do we contact?
Right now, the best contact would be the county because of all the improvements, and improvement involves us as well. And they will be the ones sending out bids for our upcoming road and drainage project.
I mean, who could we complain to? Because going over some of
You
those.
can actually, if you want to send a complaint in writing to my email address, then I can forward all those up to the project
Okay.
coordinator with the county.
There's one down by the park, and I must say, it's bad. There's no way around it.
The roads are terrible.
that's my report.
Okay.
I've been driving around the city. We gotta do something with our code compliance. It's everything from our trash to the amount of construction that's going on and the overall aesthetics of the city. Please go back and read your deed restrictions, down to the very last detail, how many trash cans you can put out, how you can dispose of your trees, your plants, your building materials. Something's gotta be done. The city really looks atrocious. All right, as promised, the marina boat launch fee, we are reworking that and we're gonna adjust it to make it both more affordable and more feasible as discussed. We really did good over the last 6 months, cutting down the traffic. Now we're gonna dial it in a little bit better. We can expect that on the agenda February, March, within the next 2-3 months. All right, last on my list is twofold. I'd really like to have another goal-setting session like we did with Sean to see where our focus priorities are. And also, we need to go back and discuss all these projects that we funded and approved that have been sitting in hiatus before they get lost. There's some really good projects we have funding with that we haven't moved forward. So, all the help I could get on these matters, please call me, email me, do your own legwork. 2020, the city's seen leaps and bounds of progress. Let's keep it going in 2021. That's it.
Clay?
I agree with Russell on every single one of them. I know we still have a long way to go. And I think, with our citizens getting more involved, and getting back to volunteerism, and a little bit more unity, I think we're looking for ears. I mean, we are the ears of the community, and we're looking for more input for sure.
Your turn.
JBIC, I went to the meeting back in November, I guess it was, and it's timely that you would bring that up, Russell, because they back off totally December and January as far as sending any letters, doing anything like that. Suzanne retired, they're training somebody new, so yes, they are aware that their territories have not been addressed like they should be ordinarily. They also brought up the other dead tree that's in the Esplanade, and probably Steve will come talk to you about that, Brad, because they did the other one, so they are gonna expect you to come up with some way to get that one out of there. And I wanna congratulate everybody on the turtles. Thank you, Russell, or whomever poured the slabs and got those turtles up, and they look terrific.
They do look really
I
good.
just put them on hold.
They look really good, they really do.
Anyone else? Go to the police report.
Again, you've heard from our side, Chief Baden has the fire report.
The fire report's next. We'll do that.
Did you go to dinner, county dinner?
Good evening. Wanted to give you an update on what went on with the fire department for 2020. During the year, the fire department responded to 264 calls for service. 71 or 27% of those were mutual aid or automatic aid given. At a high level, we had 26 fires we responded to, 167 rescue or emergency medical services. 27 calls were hazardous condition, no fire, think working, sparking lines, gas leaks, things like that. 13 calls were what we call good intent or false alarms. The flare at Talk Bio is always good for a couple of calls. Or a false alarm where fire alarm is going off, but there was no fire present. And then 30 calls were service calls. The service calls are generally anything else that we do that doesn't fit into one of those buckets. This was an increase over 2019 of 25 calls. That's about a 10% increase. We've been steadily going up in the 8 to 10% range over the last couple of years. Our highest month was in May, no surprise. We had 42 calls. That's our highest month ever. September was our next with 29 calls. And in June, July, and August, each had 27 calls. So the bulk of our calls were from May to, say, September. We did respond to 2 structure fires in Jamaica Beach during the year. Both of those were relatively minor. There was damage to the homes, but it wasn't a complete loss. We also responded to 12 structure fires in Galveston as part of our mutual aid agreement with them. We responded to 6 brush fires. One of them was a large brush fire on Monica Road. Several of them were fairly large ones out on the west end as part of July 4th. And the Fun Association Texan Town with fireworks. We responded to 2 vehicle fires as mutual aid to Galveston. We also performed 3 standby assignments. This is when we cover the west end of Galveston Island because Galveston has all their units in a fire. We responded to 38 water rescue calls during the year as part of our association with the Galveston Marine Response. In addition, of those mutual aid calls that we did, 5 EMS calls were mutual aid to Galveston when their units were tied up on other calls. We responded to 4 MVAs, 4 auto accidents with Galveston when they had multiple patients, what we would consider a mass casualty. We also performed an elevator rescue on 33rd Street in Galveston while they were fighting the San Luis Resort fire. That was quite a trip to make for that. For incidents and training, our volunteers contributed a total of over 1,000 hours this year. I said over 1,000 because I quit counting at 1,000 because I had to convert the times. So it was over 1,000. For things that we did this year, in 2020 we were able to replace the 20-year-old pump on our brush truck with a new unit, which probably hopefully gives it another 20 years life. We were also able to get a complete overhaul on Sea Legs, which is our amphibious rescue vehicle. This is one of our most used units, so we felt that the expense was worth it to give us another 10, 15 years of service out of that. In 2021, we are planning to replace our 2 Chiefs vehicles, which also serve as our rapid response units, with new units, hopefully in the February-March timeframe, which will allow us to decommission 2 of our older vehicles that have gotten to the point where maintenance costs are eating us alive. We did participate in the Mardi Gras parades this year, in 2020 when they were still held. And then the Christmas celebrations at the park and the boat parade. All of our other events throughout the year that we participate in were canceled. And unfortunately, due to COVID-19, our barbecue fundraiser was canceled. However, I'm happy to report that we had a tremendous response from our mail-outs and exceeded our fundraising goals for the year, even without events. In 2021, we're also planning to look at some grants, things that we're looking for. From those, we're certainly looking to get some 12-lead monitors to improve our cardiac care capabilities, particularly as has happened a lot lately when we're waiting on an ambulance to come from town. So there's a lot of procedures we can do once we have that 12-lead and we can assess the patient's response that we can't do without it. We're also looking to purchase an automated chest compression device to enhance our response to cardiac events. As you know, all of our homes are elevated. One of the critical tenets of CPR is that once you start, you don't really stop. Unfortunately, to carry someone down the stairs, we do have to pause, which means that all of the effort that you've done at that point, you're basically restarting. So we'd like to get the automated compression device so that we don't have to see CPR. If you've ever carried somebody down the stairs, if somebody were to start CPR on them while you're carrying them, you would probably kill them after you drop the patient. We are looking to apply to Texas Forest Service program, HB 2604, to replace our aging thermal imaging cameras. And additionally, we're looking for a grant to look at replacing our 1997 engine 2 pumper. That's all I have. Oh, and my one plea is house numbers. We need better house numbers in the city. At 4 a.m., if your house number is not visible, it's hard to find you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That, we've come a long way from our Forest Service Jeep panel. That's what we started with. If there's nothing else to come before this board, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion. I second.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.